Hello everyone, welcome to another video. This is going to be a quick one on how to get the 007 James Bond Nightfire game to work on your Windows 10 installation. I don't know if this will work on 11, but I do know it works with 10. Now this is an older game that has a DRM on it attached to it, so it will not work unless you have a no CD patch. I, however, for obvious reasons, cannot link to that file. So what I'm going to do is show you how to get that working, assuming you already have the game installed or that you can install it from your own CD or an image. So let's go ahead to the website here. We're going to go to this one here. This is the Nightfire patch version 1.1. So you're going to need this. Go ahead and click on download this file and put that in your downloads folder. The other file I'm going to show you is going to be a direct link. I did that for a specific reason. So there is an English version of this one, the 5.91. It is listed as that one, but it is a newer version. So what you want to do is go ahead, if you have the English version of the game, you're going to copy this and paste it to your browser. If you have the non-English version, you're going to go ahead and copy this link and paste that in your browser. I have the English version installed, so I'm just going to copy that, and this will be in the description. So go ahead and open up your browser, and we're going to do a new tab and just paste that in there. If you have Firefox, you can just go ahead and click on the arrow here and go directly to it. It will start downloading itself. So once you have that patch installed, you can go ahead or, download it. Just go ahead and close your browser. And I'm going to go ahead and open up the two folders I have here. So one for the game on the right side that's already been installed. And then you have the files that we downloaded. So just go ahead and take both of these, click on them, and you're going to extract them to a separate folder. Once you have those two folders created, just go ahead and get rid of the zip files. And this file, you're obviously not going to have on your computer. That's just one with some info for me. The no CD patch is going to look like this, and that will be the size of it. Like I said, I can't post this, so don't ask for it. So once you have that done, this is your game on the right side. So what you're going to do, the first thing we're going to do is install the Nightfire 1.1 patch. You just go ahead and double click on that. You're going to click next. Next again, and you're going to put the location here. It already found it for me because I've already installed it before, so that's automatically on there. If it does not point to the correct location, just go ahead and click browse and point to the folder that has it and click next, and then click next again, and you should see it doing its thing here. Once that is done, it's going to give you this about Windows XP. Don't worry about that because we're not running XP. Some kind of issue with the codecs and so forth for Windows XP. So just go ahead and click OK, click finish, and now you have that 1.1 patch. You still do not want to launch the game. Go ahead and hit back and go to the folder again, and we're going to do the newer patch. Now on here you want to pay attention to the video, so just double click on this. You are going to see this. The minute you see this, if you try and launch it without that no CD, it will not work. So just go back again. You're going to take the no CD. We're going to copy that into the folder here on the right side, replacing the original bond.exe. Once you do that, you should be able to launch the game. Leave this running in the background. Just slide that over, launch the game. And this should pick up that you launched the game and then continue from this one here. But let's launch this first. So once you launch the game and you see that, just go ahead and hit the Alt and the Tab button together, and it'll go back to this window. Once you hit next, this should tell you it found the game. For some reason, it did not find mine, so let's just go ahead and close this and start it again. Oh, there you go, it did find it. So once it does work correctly, you're going to see this message. It'll tell you your Nightfire folder has been detected, and it's going to show the location. So go ahead and click OK, and then make sure it's the same here, and go ahead and click next again. And this will take a second or two and install some files on here, and just you could see it to show the changes on here. Now this is the part where it's going to be kind of you have to focus on what you're doing here. So we're going to go ahead and launch this one time. You're going to get this window now. On here you want to make sure you put the settings that you want. you want to lock the VSync so you don't get any tearing on here. So this, you're going to change the resolution to whatever you want. That very last number is the refresh rate, so we're going to leave that 60 there. I recommend you leave it at 60 on your computer, even if you have something more powerful. I've read that if you run the frame rates too high, it's going to cause issues with the game. So preferably leave it at 60. So let's do 1920 X 1080 and then X, and then that 60 for the refresh rate. You can do the anti-lacing here. I believe you can go up to ×8. So let's put 8 in there. Make sure the VSync lock is on. You can pick some fixes here. You can choose to skip the intro movies. There's a fix to get rid of the movies, but why even mess with that when you can check that part right there? And you know, windowed mode, you have raw mouse input, disable mouse acceleration. This is highly recommended. If you disable this and for some reason the mouse doesn't work correctly, you can come back in here, you know, and check that again. But preferably that should be on. If it doesn't work, just go ahead and, you know, come back and uncheck it. The voice, I don't mess with that. That's all dependent up to you. So you want to make sure this is on. You want to make sure check for updates is on, and then, you know, preferably leave that on, so you can actually tell if you want to, you know, do the update or not. This setting here is for, I guess, a different lower field of view. I just went ahead and left that at default. So once that is done, you can actually go ahead and close this and launch again, and the settings should take place. And I want you to pay specific attention to this right here. So you want to tell it, once you get this window to come up, you need to hit yes here to update this. It may take a couple of seconds for that window to show that, you know, the update is taking place. So just give it a few seconds. And then you should see this. So once it does this, you'll probably see the game close. So don't panic. It's meant to do that once this launcher has been updated. So go ahead and click OK. And now we can just go back into the folder that has the game installed and launch this. Now, once you launch this the first time, you are going to get a different executable next go around, and I'll show you that here in just a second. You can actually go in here and you know, set it up if you want to play online. It shows you the servers that are on and so forth. You can add a server. You can get more details from that on the website that I showed you earlier. So that's for that portion of it. If you don't want that, just go ahead and exit back out of there. And it looks like I might have to launch that again because it looks like that closed. Just go ahead and launch it again. And then you have the settings here, which I showed you earlier. So if you ever want to make changes, you can go ahead, you know, launch the game and then click on that box there. And now we can just go ahead and let it go completely. If you have an NVIDIA graphics card, you want to click this corruption fix. There's some kind of, you know, glitches with the NVIDIA, certain NVIDIA cards. So if you do have an NVIDIA and you see certain glitches, go ahead and tell it yes. If you have an AMD like me, just go ahead and click no. The game should launch now. Now, the first time you may see this, just go ahead and ignore it and click escape. And the game is going to launch. What I recommend you do, if you had this game before and you had a save game, do not launch from the save game. It's going to cause certain issues. At least it did for me, where the you know, the scope didn't show up correctly. So let's go ahead and we're going to hit quick here, and I'm going to have you check something out. Or you can actually just go ahead and click on options quick, and everything that you matched on the other stuff should already be here. So as you can see, the 19x20 is set. 60 hertz highs for texture, normal 8x. So that is all good. So you want to go ahead and click on Nightfire. Like I said, if you had a save game and you want to click new game, and then you can pick whatever difficulty here. We're going to test this here real quick. And as you can see there, now if you do start from before from a certain save game, your you know, the scope thing on the gun there is not going to show that blue mark. So you want to make sure you start new. So if you start a save game and you see that, you know, not there, that's why. And it may not work with the keyboard either, so you want to make sure that you start a new game. We're going to go ahead and jump out of there. We're going to go back, and as you can see, it created a bond to execute. If you shoot the game or start it with that one, you're not going to get that, little crazy wording that came in the beginning. So it should launch you straight away. So I'm going to go ahead and show you another certain thing here. There's going to be a setting here for the crouch. If you want to set an effect for the crouch, what you would want to do is go ahead and go to the path to the game. There's a folder called bonds. You want to go on there, and there should be an autoexec.config. As you can see, there is one set there. For some reason, this one says 2. So we can just go ahead and right click on that. Now this is if you want to do the toggling for the crouch. You don't have to. If you want to, just right click on there and do the open with. Uncheck this because you don't want it to always open up with Notepad. And you'll see this here. So there's going to be something that you can put on here, and I'm going to go ahead and paste that text to the description. So it's going to look like this right here. So let me scroll down here. So what you're going to do is, create or open the autoexec.config. And you're going to add this into it. Like I said, mine for some reason has a .2, so I'm assuming that's the one that's going to work. So once you have that, just go ahead in there. You're going to paste it in there. And then you will save that file. You just click File and Save. And then you'll have that, that crouch effect activated in the game because it is set to the auto exec config file. Now, if you want to get rid of the movies, like I said, there's certain movies you could delete from the movies folder, the EA logo, MGM logo, and the NF intro logos for the .avi files. Don't even mess with that because you've already done it with the option to not show the movies. So let me see here. I have a paper here with other couple of things. The FPS, you want to make sure, like I said, there is a way you can change it. I highly recommend you leave it at 60. So we can leave that alone. The mouse acceleration I explained to you already. So that is pretty much it. Now, if you do the settings like I showed you before, it's not going to have a controller input for a gamepad. I recommend you play this game without a gamepad. If you do want to go ahead and play the the gamepad, what you want to do is go into the game, and I'll see if I can show you here real quick when it loads. There's a spot where you go in here and you do the settings again. I think you'd have to start it with the old version, with the old execute. So let's go ahead and jump out of here, because I don't believe it's built into the game itself. Controls. Okay, see, so the turning on for the joystick is not here. So let's just out of here real quick, and we'll see if we can get that other menu to come up once we launch it again. There we go. So you would go back into the settings here, and then there is a spot here for the joystick, I believe. So you want to enable controller support. So if you actually have that checked, it should work with your joystick also. So I thought you had to do it separately, but the setting is there. So that's how you would get the joystick to work. I neglected to hit the VSync, which should also be on. So we are good to go there. There we are. So once you have that set, your game should work flawlessly. So let's just go in there again and make sure everything is fine. You want to go ahead and launch it with the Bond 2. Again, if you launch it with this original one, you're going to get this, window looking like this. So you always want to try and load it with the other one. So I'm just doing this to make sure that it does take effect with the VSync. There you go. So as you can see, everything is fine. The cursor is there for aiming, and this is all good. And as you can see, it works flawlessly with the frame rate. So that is it for this video. If you guys have any questions on how to get this to work, if for some reason it does not work for you, just go ahead and post it in the comments section. So with that, we are done. So if you guys haven't been able to enjoy that game, if you follow the video, you should be able to get that to start for you with no issues. All right, once again, thank you for looking at the videos. If you have any questions, leave them. If you have not subscribed, please do so, and we will catch you guys on the next video.